and welcome to the next installment of the REINS Spotlight series, where we interview the nation's top infrastructure experts. Today, we have Ananth Prasad, who currently serves as the president of the Florida Transportation Builders Association. He has over 29 years of public and private sector experience in the transportation industry, most notably from 2011 to 2015, where he served as the secretary of the Florida Department of Transportation. His tenure at FDOT included high-profile projects such as the First Coast Expressway and the I-4 Ultimate. We'll leave his full bio in the description below so that we can actually get to talking to him. Ananth, thank you for taking the time to chat with us today.
Yeah, good to be with you.
Now, we're especially excited to have you here today because you've worked on a side of transportation and urban planning that many professionals have to deal with, but they may not have a good grasp of, and that's the policy side of planning. So you work closely with the Florida legislature to facilitate projects and accelerate construction. What do you wish that legislators would know that they don't know about transportation, construction, and projects?
Oh, that's a great question. As an engineer, you're trained to be a problem solver, right? You have a problem and you go through the process of solving, and legislating is nothing but that, right? It's more of a reactionary process. I routinely go around, actually give a talk to the engineering professionals as part of a leadership institute about politics is anything but rationale. It's because it's just there's so many different issues associated with it when it comes to actually from a legislative standpoint. Policy makes sense. Why should we be doing certain things? How do we pay for it? But the vast, we have, like in Florida, I'll give you an example. We have 160 legislators, 120 House of Representatives, and 40 senators. I would think of that 160, probably only about 30 of them are really focused on infrastructure. They understand it. They want to learn about it. The others are just reacting to their constituents' call. Oh, why is the signal not working? Why am I stuck in traffic? And, sort of reactionary. But then the other 30 or 40 really understand what it takes to build infrastructure, what it takes to pay for infrastructure, because I think that brings them in a perspective. A lot of people say, hey, how do we get a signal? Hey, why can't we get a traffic signal? Well, if you think about it, there are rules on how you get a traffic signal. If not, you would have a traffic signal at every driveway. Or, every legislator would want it at his favorite driveway, right? So there's national standards that every state follow on how to put traffic signal. When you explain that to the legislator, well, most of them don't understand that. I'm like, why not? Well, just think about it. But on the flip side, some of them get really frustrated about getting stuck in traffic and there's too many lights on the road, right? So that's the reason, I think, just trying to understand that. So I think most people who are thought leaders and legislators who involve in transportation spend time learning it. Right. And those typically are the ones who are driving transportation issues. And the same at federal level or any state level. It's not like you need all 160 to understand it. You need the core group at the Senate and the House to understand and take it. Key thing is this, I wish they understand better how we pay for it. Right. I think some get it. Secondly is the a realization or appreciation of how long it takes to build a project. From concept to reality, on average, it takes 8 years. So, you talked about, a couple of projects in the state of Florida. If you think about it today, it'll be 8 years before that project will be finished, right? And in 8 years, I'll give you an example in Florida, we're having about 900 people moving to the state. Our population is about 21.5 million residents. By 2030, that's only 9 years, we're projected to go by 4.5 million people in the state. So you think you have a problem in congestion today, add 4.5 more million people and another 35 to 50 million tourists to our state, by 2030, your congestion is going to get even more of a problem. And you just backtrack it, engineers, put a schedule together, you backtrack it. To relieve that congestion, you need infrastructure. And for that infrastructure to be available at 2030, you need to be start moving today. And guess what? We don't even have plans, or we don't have money to pay for it. So I think that's the realization that people need to understand. Most of them believe, most of their education policy, healthcare policy, open up a hospital, or, or invest $1 billion in teacher salaries, and we attract good teachers and our K through 12 scores go up. Some of those are very more, quickly you see the return on investments. But infrastructure takes a long time, and I wish they appreciate that. Now, people who know about it appreciate it, but a general appreciation from everybody would be worthwhile. So, yeah.